Well, we are here with another YouTube video on the highly anticipated DIY platform for the Tesla Model Y. I've had many people ask me for this video and I've been putting it off, but today's the day. So I'm going to give you a complete overview of how we assembled this, what materials were used, all the measurements and dimensions of this, and give you kind of a look at how we had to makeshift some of this, because there's technically 2 phases to this project. We've really only done phase 1, and we probably should do phase 2. But I'll let you figure out how you want to do phase 2. But for now, I'll show you phase 1 and what we've done so far, so let's take a look. Okay, so basically I've removed the 2 pieces that come with the Tesla on the bottom here to show you that this actually comes in 2 pieces that we built, and it kind of builds that frame around here. You can see that it allows for a lot of storage. So we have our mattress in here, we have several blankets, the window shades are down below there as well. And I would say that this probably raises up our storage about 3 inches or so from there. So that gives us actually some more space for when we go camping. We can put our stuff under here. So that's an added benefit of having the platform, is it increases our amount of storage in here. So I took these out of the car. I'm going to show you how we put them together, and I'm going to give you the measurements and dimensions of them too. So there's 2 pieces to this, and they're both made up by 2x4s, and the first one is a basic rectangle shape. And so basically what we did is we used some wood glue and wood screws to connect everything together. And what we started by doing was taking a drill bit and drilling holes in them first. Then we applied some wood glue, and then we screwed in the 3 wood screws on every corner. So this is the second piece of this, which, as you can see, the top has a longer piece than the rest. But same principle, we used wood glue at all of the corners, and then we took our drill bit and drilled holes into each of the corners ahead of time, and then drilled in the 3 wood screws, as you can see here. But make sure when you use the wood glue that you don't use too much, because it'll just kind of ooze out of the sides. But then you can drill in your 3 wood screws after you've already made the holes, because that makes it a lot easier actually. That's kind of the process that we use to do this. I still need to paint these black, but I wanted to at least show you them while they're still bare. So now I'm going to show you all of the measurements and dimensions of each one of these pieces. Okay, first we're going to measure the square part. So I'm going to give you the dimensions of this. So that's just at 37 inches. If you are not in the United States, I'm very sorry, I don't know how to convert that quickly to centimeters, but it is 37 inches for both the bottom piece and the top one. So that's the width, is 37 inches. The height, this is 18.5 for just this piece here. Fully assembled, it's just over 21.5 inches. So 37 inches for both of the width pieces, and 18.5 for the height pieces on both sides. Okay, and for the second piece, which goes between the back seat and the subtrunk, I'm going to measure this. So the bottom is also 37 inches, which is what I would expect, because this other piece is also 37 inches. So that is 37 inches. So the bottom was 37 inches, the top one is longer, and I'll show you why this one is longer here in a minute. The top one is 43 inches. So 37 inches for the bottom, 43 inches for the top. The height of these pieces individually are 14 inches. So 14 inches for each side, and then once fully assembled, 17 inches. So you have 37 inches, this was 43 inches, 14 inches for these little guys. And this is for the piece that goes between the back seat and the sub-trunk. Alright, so once you have everything assembled, now we can put it in the car. Okay, so showing another vantage point, you can see why these pieces are longer up here, because in the back it actually kind of goes out like this a little bit as you start to get into the back seat area. So in order to accommodate that, that's why you have this longer piece here. So now what I'm doing is I'm just putting the pieces that come with the Tesla, I'm putting them back on top here. And then I'll show you a couple of things and a couple of issues that I have when I do this. Here's the middle piece. So here's the first issue that I have with this is it's not a 100% solution, but this, in order for the trunk to close, this has to sit up a little bit further, which usually means that I'm not able to put the seats up. So usually what I have to do is, when I'm using this for regular daily driving, I have to put this piece in place where it's snug on both sides, and then the sub-trunk piece is too far out for the trunk to close. So I have to usually overlap it like this in order to allow the back seats to come up. So now I'll be able to put the seats up. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you with this piece in particular is there's a couple different ways you can do this. If you are a carpenter or you know what you're doing, you could probably turn these into angled corners, but I'm not that good with woodworking, so I opted for the basic option, which was just making it an easy 90-degree angle. But you can see that there's actually like a 1-inch gap through here, so the wood does not come all the way to the edge of the trunk, which is actually probably a good thing, because if it did, then the trunk probably would not close all the way. So this was not intended to be this way. We had different plans, but we took the easy route, and this is kind of how it turned out. Okay, so earlier I talked about how this portion I have to layer it up in order for the trunk to close, because right now, if I were to put this down here where it actually would fit, the trunk won't latch, it won't close. So if you have the back seats down still, you'll have to sort of layer this up. And if any of you can find a way around this, because there's probably several smart woodworking people out there, then please drop a comment and let me know. But so far, this is kind of what we have to do to accommodate it, which I'm okay with, but just letting you know so that you know what to expect. Alright, so now this brings us to the phase 2 portion of this, which as you can see is non-existent. And if you are savvy with the woodworking and you want to drop your ideas in the comments, I will gladly welcome it, because we are now working with an angle here. And as you can see, if you bring the camera a little bit closer, you can see how much of a gap there is in here. There's probably like a 4-inch gap between the back seat and this middle part here, which is a problem because this is obviously not going to be comfortable to put a mattress in here. I'm going to show you what we do to accommodate this. So I basically take a bunch of blankets and towels, and what I'll do is, this especially works really well if you have like a really thick blanket, but I'll fold it in half and kind of tuck it in the bottom here to kind of fill in the gaps of this space. And then probably take another one and find any other uneven sections. So in this case, that corner looks a little bit uneven. So I'll just kind of use these blankets to fill this in. I'm not doing a very good job right now, but if I'm actually camping, this would look a lot better. But basically kind of evens it out a little bit, and honestly you can't really even tell at all once the mattress is fully out and you're laying in it. So it ends up working for us. That's why we haven't really gone on to build the phase 2 portion of this, because you would need to calculate the angle, which is not a common angle, and then you have to build the little legs on each corner. So it's just not really a project that I've been interested in taking on. This is just a lot easier to put the blankets out here. Thank you for watching this video. I know you guys have been asking for a long time, and I'm sorry that it took me so long, but hopefully this helped. Hopefully it was informative, gave you all the information that you need in order to build this for your own Tesla. These measurements and dimensions are just specific to the Model Y. does not work for the Model 3, Model X, or the Model S. So if you own a Model Y, this is for you. And if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. I really appreciate your support. If you want to see my other videos, specifically, you can see where I set up my mattress and I give you my entire camping setup. Go check out my other videos on my YouTube channel. Greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.